Welcome in episode 153, I believe, of the show. We're just knocking these things out like clockwork. We are recording this right before the Fighting Ike Buckers take on the Fighting Amani Hookers, right? Bills Titans.
Yep.
Yeah, and little asterisk in there,
Jack
Parker Hesse has joined the Titan squad back again.
Has he now?
He's back on the T squad.
That's maybe the best job on earth.
It helps when the guy who was previously on the T squad gets busted for PEDs and,
Oh, you got to love
Shout
that.
out to the guy on the P squad being on PEDs, though. That's a real grinder move, man. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, man. Shout out to that guy.
Even bigger shout out for getting caught and get our man Parker paid.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, for real. Parker gets the bag because some guy can't pass drug tests, which I've heard it's so easy to pass the drug tests in the NFL. Regardless, I feel for that guy, man. Like, dude's on the practice squad. He's trying to make a 53 man. Maybe he's taking a little, he's taking a little andro, taking a little what's it called? Ostarine, just trying to stay tight, stay strong. Gets busted. Fucking Chris Landit was sitting there waiting for him in the complex.
That's a tough one, dude. He had just pulled the syringe out of his ass, and he walks around the corner, and there's Chris.
There she is. Chris was the shout out Chris. She was the drug test lady when we were in college. So she probably still is. What do you guys? I don't believe the Bills Titans game. Well, because it got messed around. Who do you guys got? Do you guys got any skin in that tonight? Or
that's part of my little parlay that I was going to tell the people about, the state of New York parlay. The Bills cover because they're not from New York City,
right? And
then the teams that are both get beat by a handsome amount. So that's one of my little bets.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Kevin, you bet that game tonight?
I did not bet that game tonight, but Bills Mafia all the way, baby.
Yeah, for sure. FNS, they're really the Hawkeye East. Cool. Before we get into it, it's going to be fairly quick because we're really trying to watch that game. I got some meat on the grill right now that I threw on right before we hit record, and I got to go tend to that eventually. Before we get to a small bit of Hawkeye news, I guess in college news in general, they did today, just like a couple hours ago, approve the extra year of eligibility. So everybody gets a free year. Officially. Everybody. So, for example,
this year doesn't count towards anybody's eligibility whatsoever.
That is correct. And it's multiple sports. So, the example being tossed
Football,
around.
Even like even if you played a full season, like it doesn't matter.
Correct. You can play all 12 games. It does not apply. So Luka Garza and
that's fucking wild.
I know, right? Luka and Jabo could technically come back next year. Think about that.
Bro, like
I think my brain just fell apart after you said that. I'm sitting here right now trying to digest that information, that it could be Luka 2021 and 2022.
Yeah. Probably won't be, but
no.
The other one being,
I'm like flabbergasted. You can literally just bring the whole team back next year. Like, I'm not going to make the NFL this year. I'm just going to come back and play for my 7th fucking year or whatever it is.
Correct. The entire team. The other one being tossed around was Spencer Lee will now have a chance to get his 4 titles.
It's different because he got his season cut off right at the most important part of the season.
Right.
And like the spring sports, he didn't get to play it off. So I get that, but
no.
The fact that you can play a full season this year and it just doesn't count.
It's
just wild to me.
It's incredibly wild. My brother, who's already kind of like behind the ship, he's really drawn it out to this point to get to his spot in the eligibility continuum. He's already technically a redshirt freshman this year, and he'll be 21 in about 20 days. So he has 5 seasons left. So he has redshirt.
Don't ever graduate. Zach, don't ever graduate, dude. Just
He
stay
will
in college.
He will turn 26. He will turn 26, right?
And still be eligible. That's pretty obnoxious.
In the end of his last year, he'll turn 26, I think.
That's a grown ass man. You're off your parents' insurance, and like Jesus Christ.
It's either 25 or 26.
You're long past off your parents' insurance.
It's either 25 or 26.
No,
I can't
26. You have to. 26. You have to get kicked off.
I understand 26 for insurance. I'm saying I can't remember if it'll be 25 or 26 for Zach when he's a senior.
Regardless, dude.
That's our age right now. Like we'd be in our last season right now.
Yeah, I'm not 26 yet. I'd still be playing. You tell me? I haven't played a football game in 2.5 years, and you tell me I'd still be playing.
Lace him up, Kev. We need you at weak side linebacker.
Wild. Nah, the strong side. Get it right, man.
Nah, he said nah. Strong side.
That's wild.
Is
so I'm curious if like a bunch of like so the NCAA said you can do. I'm curious if like schools will honor it though. You know what I mean?
It will be weird because then I don't know. I don't believe it's been figured out what the implications are for scholarship numbers for, how that works out. I would imagine they're going to, I don't know. I think it's like, hey, the one thing we do know is like this year is so fucked that everyone just gets an extra year. We'll figure everything else out when the time comes. Like we'll figure it out at some point.
Yeah, like you keep guys like Drake Kulik on for a 6th year because it's like, that senior year is like, okay, he's a gimpy horse. We'll keep him around and then we'll put him out the pasture. It's just one more year. We can hang on to him. But do we really want to hang on for him for 2 more years? I don't know. Like, what do you do with those guys?
In Drake's case, they would have put the saddle on him. Someone would have rode him out into the pasture, hopped off, and they would have just let him wander into the abyss.
You think they would have let me wander? You think they'd have put me down right there? You
they
think
probably
I would have walked in the complex?
I think they brought the shotgun.
I think they take
into the field. Yeah.
Dude, listen to this. Here's a hypothetical. I get that 7th extra year of eligibility and that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden I walk into the training room one day for my third treatment of the day for like the 390th day in a row. And Russ just hooks me up to some electrodes and fries me like Frankenstein.
There's just an electric chair sitting in there like, all right, treatment for today, Drake. We're going to put you down.
We're going to put you out of your pain.
Unbelievable.
Man. I wonder if like, you know what they do? They'd have Gray's cater and they'd have the milkshake protein shakes at the end of the workout. Like all your favorite things you get to do that day. And at the end
Bro,
of the day,
you're saying it's my last day and I'm like on death row.
It's his football last meal.
It's like when you got to put the dog down, so you take them out to their favorite spots, give them their favorite treats, and then say your goodbyes.
Yeah, they would Drake, they would have brought you Grays, they maybe let you drink a little bit in the complex, shoot some roids one last time or one first time allegedly. And then they would have just
one first time.
And then they would have taken a couple of the 45s from the weight room. They would have rolled them over to the pool and they would have just tied all 4 limbs and
that would have been a real cruel way for them to send me out, dude. At the bottom of the pool.
That is the most twisted way you could have possibly thought of.
And then not in the lap pool or the hot tub, the cold tub.
And they've got the media crew in there to put a highlight film together to send my family.
Yeah. For sure.
All right. I've had enough of this. Let's move on.
All right. Let's move on real quick. Before we get to the 3 of the games for the Hawkeyes times were announced. We'll get to that in a second. I wanted to, this was something I wanted to touch on Monday's episode that I didn't get to. Some Iowa State stuff. And I know we're really hurting for content when you got to talk about this, but I actually think this is somewhat important and relevant because it's another year. It's like going to be the thing this year that Iowa State fans like hold on to, like, well, we didn't play you guys. So, we were the better team and we didn't play you guys. They are, it would be hard to argue that they are not it. at least a front runner to be in the Big 12 championship. For sure, one of the top two.
I'll be shocked. I'll be surprised if they're not in the Big 12 championship, and they might honestly. Hurts my tongue to say this. They might be the best team in the Big 12.
And this is what I'm getting at, unfortunately. And let me break it down for you. Obviously,
are we about to see the clowns leading the Big 12? That just tells you how big of a fucking shit party the Big 12 is.
If the
clowns are over here leading the conference,
it absolutely is.
And that's what's unfortunate is in a year that Iowa isn't going to play Iowa State, the Big 12 is going to be just a absolute shit show, kind of pull a name out of a hat kind of thing. And Iowa State, if I had to put my money down right now, I'm putting my money on Iowa State to win the Big 12, and here's why.
I mean, there's odds out there. I mean, Drake, you want to look them up? We'll keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, so here I pulled up the schedule. Arguably, in my mind right now, the two front runners in the Big 12 are Oklahoma State and Iowa State. All right, they are. I don't think they're the only two unbeatens left in conference play, but they are. I believe the other unbeaten is Kansas State, actually.
Plus 3.25.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So they're plus 325 to win the conference. Is there who's the second out?
Yep. Oklahoma's first at plus 145. Oh, this might be old.
Really?
No, it was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago from Bovada.
That's interesting.
Oklahoma's plus 145. Iowa State plus 3.25. Oklahoma State plus 350.
I legit might go and put money on that. Anyway, so in my mind, Iowa State and Oklahoma State, they're kind of the two at the top that are left unbeaten. Kansas State as well. And here's a look at those three teams, right? When you compare Iowa State to Oklahoma State, or actually compare Iowa State to Kansas State, who they actually will face off with in about a month from now. That is, they play Oklahoma State not this weekend, but next weekend. That's their big test. Oklahoma State's number 7. Kansas State currently ranked number 22. Those are the two games left on Iowa State's schedule that are they're really like the kickers, right? Oklahoma State.
Are they still playing Texas? Not that means anything, but
they are still playing Texas. I guess Texas is. I mean, Texas is more than apt to beat Iowa State. Like honestly, it's like a flip
Iowa
a
State
coin.
will be favored, but Iowa State will be favored, but Texas can win.
Correct. Oklahoma State has played. And we're talking again, like I just mentioned, we're talking the top two teams, like the front runners to make the Big 12 championship. Oklahoma State has beaten Tulsa by 9 points.
Tulsa's a good team, though.
They beat West Virginia by 2 touchdowns, and then they whomped Kansas 2 weekends ago. Iowa State, obviously, we know what they've done. The last 3 games, their first 3 in the Big 12, they've beaten TCU by 3 points. Kansas State has played the exact same 3 teams in a different order in the last 3 weeks. So they just beat TCU by a touchdown. So both those teams beat TCU by a touchdown. Both of them beat Texas Tech by 2 scores, and both of them beat Oklahoma by 1 score. So Kansas State, Iowa State, very similar spreads against similar opponents. So you kind of have this 3-way, and I'm looking at it, and I think Iowa State is basically, if they just take care of business, they're kind of a lock to be in the championship game. I would probably agree that Oklahoma does have they're still. Man, I don't know. I think out of 10 games against anyone in the Big 12, they are the best team. But man, I think Iowa State has their first chance to win a conference championship legitimately for the first time in a long time, boys. And
I'll tell you what though, boys, until it happens, I don't want to talk about it anymore. So what's next?
I just thought I'd bring that up, and I thought it was interesting. It's going to suck to hear. All I'm saying is if they do, it's going to suck to hear them say that they were better than Iowa when we didn't play them this year. Because Iowa announced 3 games. The opener against Purdue in just 12 days now is going to be at 3:30 in the afternoon. So, of the
2:30 Central.
2:30 Central. of the deflating factors that make that game not exciting for the players. I don't know. Is 3:30 better than 11 noon?
Bro, this is boring as fuck for a conversation. Let's move on.
Okay.
Yeah. You play when they tell you to play, Steve. I don't know. It's really not a huge conversation topic.
Every day there's 3
games
o'clock
are
on the
actually
clock
kind
and
of
7 o'clock on the clock.
Hey, we we do a podcast, so you kind of have to talk about the things that happen, even if they're not like super exciting. They play.
I did see that we're playing Nebraska on Black Friday again.
Yep. They moved Minnesota. So initially all the games they came out on Saturdays. They moved the Minnesota game and the Nebraska game onto Fridays. Minnesota's actually playing 3 Friday games. So
we were going to play Minnesota on a Friday originally too.
Yeah.
I was hoping that would change back, but
a lot of people didn't like that because
I don't like the Friday night college games, except for the Black Friday one made kind of sense, I guess. I don't know, but other than that, I'm not huge on Big Ten games on Friday night.
It is weird. It's weird. So yeah, they'll play Minnesota at 6 p.m. up in TCF Bank Stadium, and then Nebraska will be coming to Kinnick on Black Friday to continue the tradition. So that's about it for the Hawks, really. Spencer Petras, there's a picture of him doing a wrap-up drill on Twitter. That was good content. If you
that's good content. That is good content.
I told him he wrapped up a little high. He's a tall guy, not really tackling people very often. I was like, hey, gotta sink them knees, get those pads down. And he said, Coach Wallace had a field day with this one. And I was just like, the first thing I thought of was his blood pressure. Yeah, man, that's about it. So let's get to picks, and then we'll
here
wrap
we
this up.
go. This is the content that people are here for.
So it's time for awards winners.
If this is the content that people are here for, the people just love losing money, don't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Kevin.
So, we got a little soundbite for the segment now.
And they stay there.
All we do is win, except for the problem is we don't. Let me give you the updated. We actually had a guy go in and go back and check our standings. So after this past weekend, this is both NFL and college combined. Drake's really only been given NFL picks. Kevin's only really been given college picks. I've been a mixture of both. Oh, Jesus Christ. Drake currently
Did you just
leads.
have a stroke?
Yes, I had 2 of them. Drake currently leads at 7-3. So Drake is 70%. So if you're going to tail anyone, just listen to Drake, and the other 2, we suck. Kevin is 3-5, and I am an abysmal 4-9. So do not listen to anything we're about to say. Just none of it. And with that, Drake, I will let you. I'll let you lead off with your picks.
All right, I've got 2 little plays for you guys today. I'll lead off with a little 3-team 3-point teaser. I put together Carolina covering half a point or getting half a point, Arizona getting half a point, and Green Bay getting 1.5 points. So I think that's a nice little bet there. But then my 3 outright.
We just gonna put this out there. We can't count teasers.
No. That was just a fun little one for the people.
Okay.
My 3 picks. My 3 picks for this week are Baltimore -7.5. I'm taking them just because I don't think Philly can really score that much on their defense, and I think that Baltimore's offense is a problem for anybody. So Philly's not that good of a team this year. Green Bay on points bet is -1.5. And I think that they can cover that pretty frequently. They're playing really well this year, especially on offense. And then Indy -8 against the Bengals. The Bengals can't block anybody. Indy's defense is really good. It doesn't really matter how many points Phillip Rivers scores because I don't know if the Bengals can get it across the 50. So those are my 3.
What was that third one? I just missed it. The
Indy covering 8.
Indy -8. Got it. All right. Those are your 3 picks of the week. That's it?
Yep.
All right. Kevin, do you have yours?
I do. And, folks, you've been getting Ward's guesses up to this point. I haven't really had time to, lock in my picks before we record this podcast yet. But I actually had time today, this afternoon, a little break between cases, do a little research, dive into the stats, do a little analysis.
Wow.
And I think we actually got some awards winners this week. So I actually picked out eight I actually picked out eight plays here.
8?
So I got 5 college, 3 NFL.
Jesus Christ.
We'll start with the college. We'll start on Saturday. How about that?
My guy is DJing hard.
He's catching up.
Hey man, yeah.
Kevin's going to take this 3-5 record and make it 11-5, and the win percentage is just going to flip on its head. All right, Kev, I'm ready.
I'll be fucking ecstatic if it does. All right, so starting off the day, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. I got Tennessee -5.5 versus Kentucky. Tennessee played Georgia tough for most of the game. Kind of broke away late there. I don't think Kentucky's that good. They had a big win over Mississippi State, who I think is awful. So I think Tennessee, they got a really good offensive line. I think they can put some points up against Kentucky. Another 11 o'clock game. I got South Carolina +3 versus Auburn.
Okay.
Auburn's really not been playing that great. So, and South Carolina's better than they've been in years past. So I'm taking the points there. Afternoon, I got Texas A&M -6.5 versus Mississippi State. Texas A&M off a big win over Florida, and Mississippi State has scored 16 points in the last 2 games. So they started off the year with a big win over LSU, who we now know is not that good. They put up 14 versus Arkansas, and they scored 2 points last week.
Wow.
Versus Kentucky, and Kentucky was the one who intentionally took a safety. So I got A&M -6.5 versus Mississippi State.
Okay.
Moving to the night games, I got North Carolina -12 versus Florida State. North Carolina can put up points like nobody else.
Yeah, they can.
Florida State cannot stop anybody, so I like that game a lot.
Listen,
And
man,
then
North Carolina is a forever fade after what they did on a 2-point conversion against Clemson last year, when a lot of people had a lot of money on the line at like +750.
Well, for Kevin, he's hitting it.
That's tough.
There you go.
The last college play I got is the under 57.5 in the Georgia-Alabama game.
Wow.
I think Alabama's defense is going to rebound. I don't think Georgia's offense is as good as Ole Miss's. So
that makes my picks
I kind of
interesting.
like the under in this game.
Okay.
Moving over to the NFL, Baltimore -8. I got them at 8, not 7.5 versus the Eagles. Like that one, Drake. I got the Cardinals -2.5 versus the Cowboys. Not really.
I also love that pick, Kevin. That was my number 4 pick. That's why I put him in that little teaser.
I don't know, why is this only a 2.5 point spread? I don't really see it. Dallas's defense is trash. They just lost their starting quarterback. I don't really know why this is only a 2.5 point game. Am I missing some information on this? Or
nope.
I don't know.
I think you got it right, man. I like that pick as well.
And then the last one for the NFL I got is over 55.5 for the Atlanta-Minnesota game. 2 bad at best defenses with 2 solid offenses. So
what was that line?
There's going to be some points. 55.5.
55.5. Interesting. Yeah, they both have horrible defenses. 8 picks. Wow. You really came and brought it.
Let's hope Ward's winners are back, people.
My guy Kevin went to work, and it's time for the money to bring itself back into the equation here.
I mean, there's nothing else but Ward's winners. They're back. All right. Well, these are interesting. I have 4 picks. I told Drake before we hit the record button, I'm getting greedy. I look like an asshole at 4-9. So I'm going 2 in the NFL and 2 in college. My 2 college picks are, and this is why it's getting interesting, because I too saw the 57 line on the Bama Georgia game, and I like the over.
Fade each other.
Because I truly believe that the SEC and the COVID year of 2020, it's turning the SEC a little bit into the Big 12. And I think they're going to score more points than that. So that'll be interesting. We'll see. I like Okie. I like Okie State minus. It's -6, -7 on different sites. I'll go with the -7 even. I'll take them -7 versus Baylor.
Just giving away the 3-point. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what it'll be on the app, that the William Hill app, but on the site I'm looking at, it's -6 on 2 websites, -7 on 2 websites. I'll take the -7. I think Oklahoma State, similar to Iowa State, like we talked about, understands the position they're in. They're like, oh shit, like Texas is, like there's no clear favorite here. Like, let's go play and let's go try and win a Big 12 championship. I think they'll be, and I'm not really high on Baylor, even though Dylan Doyle crushing down there. So Bama, Georgia over 57, Okie State -7 against Baylor. Going to the NFL, my 2 picks are, I'm 3 for 3ing this. So if I guess if there's any bet out there that you should take, it's the Baltimore -7.5. That was the first one that popped out. It just seems like kind of a no-brainer. And then finally, I'm taking Miami -8.5 against the New York Jets.
Fade State in New York.
Also fade New York hard.
Yeah, the Jets are 0 for against the spread this year. So it's one of those things where it's like,
what else do you need to know? Yeah.
you keep betting it until it doesn't happen. It's kind of one of those things. So
Kluver, you put because I had that little New York parlay, fade New York City and let the Bills cover. So we're on the same brainwave here.
Yeah, we're pretty close. So not a whole lot of diversification. Kevin's really giving you the excitement this week with his 114 picks. I cannot wait to see that.
I got another 10 team parlay just for fun.
Jesus Christ.
We'll see.
That's ultra greed.
Kevin put the entire bank account on the. He went to Riverside with his life savings. All right, that's it. Not gonna hold this one out any longer. Those are awards winners of the week. We will be back again. We've been saying it. We're literally under 2 weeks now, and things are starting to ramp up. Big Ten is close. Kevin, Drake, Tyler, we are out. We will talk to you again next week. That's it. Peace.